So passion. Passion is used to fill that void when something is taken away from you. When something is taken, it's an illusion that something can be taken away from you in the first place, because if it's yours, it's always yours. And upon realizing it's yours, you attract it, or it steps into your 3D scope to where you can see that it's yours. But the passions that most people have in life, or everybody for the most part, they have had something taken from them. And in that void that's created from something being taken, they fill it with this fire of passion. And people use that just like they fill their bodies with food or whatever, what have you. They fill the void with anger or resentment, or whatever it is that they feel like they need to fill their bodies with for fuel to get things in the 3D that they feel would further fill that emptiness. But the more and more you fill the void with passions like that, the more tired you become. You're burning your way through life. You just get more and more fiery and more discontent. So you burn your way through life and get so tired from all this passion that you forgot what you lost to begin with anyway. So when it comes to passion, you have to ask yourself, what are you compensating for? Like, why do I feel as though, I need to replace this, or why do I feel like I lost something? And it's just like in the Tao Te Ching. It's like if you treat the world like an object, or if you treat anything like an object to be grasped, if you try to grasp anything, you will surely lose it. Anything you reach for will run, or you will be lost. As soon as you create that lie of separation, because that's what it comes from, lying to yourself. That's the initial illusion of separation, that you can lie to yourself to fool yourself, so you can create separation within yourself, and then you outwardly reach and create separation externally. And then as you go out of that rabbit hole into the light, as you ascend into this glaring light, you completely forget. You're completely blinded, and more is taken from you as you develop more and more passion, because as you are eroded, it's a bigger and bigger void. So you're fighting yourself. You fight yourself, and you can't win because you're fighting yourself. So your energy continues to erode, and then there's more and more of a void, and there's more emptiness within you, and more hungry you become. So that's just passion for one. So when it comes to passionate love affairs or lust affairs, it's similar to that. It's something that was taken from you either by your mom or your father or whatever, and people find it in an external person. And it's just like drugs. We got to understand that it's drugs. We're using each other like drugs. We got to understand that when you collide with a person, that when they leave, you have to cleanse your cells of them and the residue, just like you would if you were to try to clean out your urine for a urine test. Like, it's the same thing. You have to clean yourself out like that. So, and the more fake food you eat, the more water you have to consume to flush out the fake food. So as you go with that compensation game, it's the same thing externally. It's a compensation ship or a situation ship, whatever, what have you. Because you're inside, you're trying to hold on to something. You're trying to fill a void with something, but the only way to continue holding on to it is to drink water so that you can flush it out, so that you can create the hole again. Because you cleanse the filler out when you drink the fake water, and then your hunger is still there because you haven't got to your center. You haven't really been yourself and filled yourself with yourself, knowledge of self. So the hunger is going to be there. So then you chase the food again and try to fill the void with that, or fill the void with people. And then you take on more water and more emotion. And then if it gets really bad, then you start taking on worse and worse forms of moisture. Whether it's, because if you're eating a turkey, it's still mainly moisture. If you're drinking Gatorade or whatever, it's still mainly moisture. Those are just very acidic, awful forms of moisture. But like, as you get better, it will be, you're getting moisture from the air, like an atmospheric water generator would, because they're designed after our bodies. But if you're if you're constantly reaching outwardly, then it will constantly be a game of trying to trying to counter the earth with the water. And the more you do that, the more tired you become as the void gets bigger and bigger. The water that you're going to use is going to go from being an atmospheric water generator all to drinking spring water to drinking from there. Now you're drinking now you're eating other denser waters. Now if you're going to the other side of the spectrum, now you're drinking acid water, which is alcohol, Gatorade, sugary drinks. All those things are more acid water. It's the other side of the spectrum. Then those things just have to happen to counter the whole thing, because your balance is becoming more and more extreme. And as you do that, you just erode the soil. You're just becoming you're eroding yourself, so you're becoming more and more extreme to balance this crazy ping pong that you got going on emotionally, and then the physical follows the emotion. So for me, in my preference, I don't really look to be with conscious people or have like a person that has a purpose or a passion, because purpose is pure posing, or purpose. So like that, there's no passion is not what people, for me, it's not something that I'm enthralled by. So as far as a spouse or spice, because that's what spouse is, someone to complement my life, I'd rather have someone that honestly is such a dunce and is so dumb and so I'd rather have someone that can't receive me, someone that totally can't receive me, to where I can find a way to express myself to this person. Because if I can find a way, then that means I can find a way to talk to a part of myself that I've had blocked contact with. If it's a person that can't receive me, then it's a piece of me within me that I'm not connecting to. So I love to be around idiots. I love idiots. I love people that, regard themselves in low self-esteem, because there's something that I can learn. Because you learn how to teach. You learn how to teach yourself. As you teach yourself, you can begin to teach externally. But that whole process is a learning process. You learn how to be a teacher. So to me, it's I don't look at it like a challenge. It's more like a blessing when I run into people that don't receive me. Like in the Tao Te Ching, it's like the same thing. People that don't accept what you do or are your biggest critics, they should be taken as your greatest teachers. That you're never against anything, or you're always against everything. You're always in it. You're always out of it, part of it, submersed in it. You're everything. However you want to look at it. Like, are you in the world, on top of the world? It's however you want to look at it. Like, I'm on the earth. I'm in the earth. The earth is in me. However you want to look at it. But you're everything. So there is nothing lacking. It's just about how you perceive lack and how you expand upon lack. And I mean, for me, if someone's conscious and totally understands, then there's no boundary to the relationship, and that there's more other fulfilling ways that, like, I can't expect to be fulfilled in the same way. Like, I can't try to fill the shoes with a new experience. It won't fulfill me in the same way. I can't expect to be fulfilled the same way. Like, if someone is stimulating me in a 3D way, and I get addicted to that, but I know that isn't good for me, and I want to spice my life up in a different way, I can't try to replace that and expect different results. Like, I can't try to fill shoes. I can't. The void filling is the problem, because the void filling comes from this idea of knowing. Like, I know if I get to this point, that I will get to this point, or I know that if I do this, this will happen. It's just that expectation and planning and wanting. Like, the Tao Te Ching is really a great text, man. It's really a short read too. It's just like what Lao Tzu says in the Tao Te Ching. He says, you don't want to control the way life plays out. It's like trying to touch the master carpenter's tools. You'll probably cut yourself. So you don't try to control a masterpiece that really isn't yours in a sense. So control and knowing or feeling as though you know or trying to know is the bane of existence, really. So when it comes to people, I don't really like to have somebody in my life. I know them. I know who they are to me. I don't expect to keep people in a box and feel like as though like I know what this is. I know what this experience is going to be. I'd rather push myself in dire straits to force God to show up, to force miracles to happen and to see the fabric of miracles and the threads of miracles being woven together in front of me. I'd rather push life to that extreme to find out what I really need instead of succumbing to what I want, because that's infinite. Wanting is infinite. It's like the devil gives you what you want and God gives you what you need. And less is best. Remove you to produce you. Reduction is production. So the having less need is having more. Wanting less is having more. So if you find a way to want less, then you will have more, and there will be no needs. You realize that you have no needs, and that there is no situation that fear can help you in. And that need is essentially fear. And fear is essentially what people are calling God. So when it comes to other people and relationships and passion and all these things, when it comes to other people and relationship and passion, all these things, like I just let things come. I like to not label people and title things and put boundaries on things. I like to be totally isolated in a sense because it shows me how connected I am. It shows me that when I don't expect things of people and I don't try to keep people in my life, that strangers live by the code because they're not really strangers, because they're really closer reflections of me. And I don't have to know their names. I don't have to, because this is infinity here. So it's no point in expecting and trying to hold on to people. Like, I'm not trying to hold anything against you. I'm not trying to hold on. It's like, it is what it is. Like, you just let things come and go. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let my care energy, or what people call love, I'm not going to let that be caught up and bound into something with expectation, because that's just asking myself to be hurt, really. And most of us are addicted to pain because that's all we can feel at this point, because we're so numb. That's why we're numbers. That's what the word numbers comes from. Number. Like, we all some numbers at this point. People are social security numbers. They're livestock. We're that numb to where pain is the only thing that pierces the monotony. And so we strive for pain because we want to feel, and it's terrifying to feel, but fear is the greatest illusion, of course. Fear and hope are empty illusions. They're illusions. So you want to feel, because once you've totally felt, then you've explored it all. And there's nothing there that can harm you or fear you or keep you afraid or anything like that, because you know it. And it's not in the sense of like, I know it, but like as like knowing how things will transpire, but knowing that you can only feel so many ways. A human can only feel so many ways, and everyone in a lifetime feels all those ways. So you have compassion at that point, and you have faith, and those things are the victory. That is the victory. It's not anything other than that. Because if you have compassion and faith, you already won. There's nothing else anybody can do to really to bother you or get under your skin. There's no way a parasite can get into you, because you can see beyond that. You can see within that. Like, you can see way past this 3D animated death, because that's what life is pretty much animated death. So you can see past this file of life, and same letters, file and life. So you can see past that. You know what I mean? And it's no point in sacrificing that vision for the sake of company, because you only make people worse around you when you make yourself worse, and then it just expands. So the paperback books are on Amazon if you search Arba Vegan. and the ebooks as well. PDFs, or if you email me, royalt512@yahoo.com. There's 30 books. You can get all of them for $100. You can consult with me, and you can come out here to Kings Canyon, California to fast.